I think it's gonna be weird wearing one when you sit down at the table with your friends or and you get everyone's like consent to record.
Like when the Zoom thing comes on, it goes like recording in progress. We're like having a drink and we're like, oh, recording in progress.
Welcome to the Vibe Flow with Jordan and Will. Let's go. Tech news and AI trends. Tune in now with your friends.
William, happy vibe flow.
Happy vibe flow. How are we doing?
We're good. We're good. It's kind of a quiet news week. Not too much news, but we thought we'd jump on here anyway and give it a go. See what we got.
Give it the download.
Okay, we'll just go right in. I think I'm going to start off with some demos. We haven't done demos in a little while. So a few new things have come out. They're always AI, so you're not getting away from AI on this pod. All right, we're going to blast through some demos. First one, ppt.ai. It's like PowerPoint, but they make the whole thing for you. I've seen a couple of them, but they're definitely going the more lovable route, the V0 route. So I'm just going to say, make me a presentation on why sloths are so slow, make it funny, give me false information, submit. Let's go. It's doing a bunch of things.
I wonder if they're going to get sued for using the PPT acronym, which is, I feel like that must be a Microsoft trademark.
Is it? I doubt it.
It's their file extension.
Okay, so it's made me like this whole thing. I'm not going to read any of it. I'm just going to go next steps. Should we pick a theme? Ooh, that looks fun. Let's do vibrant colors. Great, generating. Let's go.
It's fast.
Crazy stuff.
It's fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how much of it is actually like, I don't know if it's actually this fast or if that was just like a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Okay, guide. I was like a hilarious GUI. Hilarious guide to sloth speed. All right, I'm going to go through like just a couple here. Blah, blah, blah.
Line breaks. Tough.
Setting the stage. Mystery of motion. Don't quite get all of that, but that's okay. Hey, it's fine. Solitary speed. I don't really buy the icons and things they're using, but hey, that was like 2 seconds. We just got this like insane. They obviously have like just one theme they use the whole time. One set. Okay, cool. Done. Demo number 1. Going right on to demo number 2. Here we go. This one's actually pretty cool. This is like turn ideas into websites. This is very similar to Lovable and V0 and Replit. I decided to give it a picture of me and Will and said make a landing page of the WoFlow story. Did a pretty decent job. What do you think of that pick, Will? Tres Comas.
Tres Comas.
I think it did maybe some web research because I knew you were the CEO. It also it could have just inferred from the name WoFlow that we're workflow automation. So I don't know. Maybe did some research. Maybe it didn't.
Here, but
it's still fun. So anyway, this is like random, but
what is
this
their goal?
Is the innovation. You mean with this company, Trickle?
Yeah.
So here's where they differentiate, and actually, I think this is pretty cool. They have a canvas, so it becomes very like Figma-esque or like whimsical-esque, where it actually breaks into this like infinite canvas. And just like you would do in Figma, it kind of has like a knowledge area, rules. Well, I don't think you'd have rules in Figma, but it kind of creates its own canvases that you can see, and it's using that information to then generate like the page. So you can technically add more pages into this canvas. So it's an interesting adaptation of like the traditional way that you would go about this. I think it's pretty cool. They did a pretty nice job. And then you can go and preview it. Let's see. Do they have? I feel like there was one.
You can
more
watch
thing I
that
wanted
journey.
to do.
Wow, that video.
No, they didn't. I tried. Okay, I think. Let's see. Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to show. So if I click this little button, I can select something. And I can actually...
Ooh, nice.
I can actually edit it.
Increase the
this
padding.
Doesn't seem... If you're not a big vibe coder, this might seem like trivial, but actually, this didn't really exist before. You kind of just had to tell it, hey, that button in the middle, I want it a little bit to the left. So now you can actually click the button. You can tell it how you want to modify it, which is super interesting. Or maybe you can do like...
You can prompt it, or you could actually use some of their tooling.
Actually edit it. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Okay, so this is super cool, and I was like, great, differentiator from V0. And then Tony on our team today was like, hey, you can actually now do this in V0. So
I was going to say, this should be on everyone as standard.
So I brought back Sloth Race, which I believe I brought up in an earlier Friday Flow.
It's a great game.
The predecessor to Vibe Flow. And I'm just going to go and give it a go. So I can now select, just as you'd expect, I can select this. Ooh. I can tell it what to do as a follow-up. I can do everything that I could do in Trickle. So the only differentiator I see right now with Trickle is their canvas. And I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not really like a great design, but it is different. I haven't really decided if I love it, but there we are. Kind of interesting. Thought I'd give a little show and tell of some little new
I think it's super nice.
Coming out.
I think it makes sense to start with a prompt and then to follow it up with some real more like fine tuning based off kind of like your old UI, your GUI for the rest of the product. I think they all should have that. It's super smart. It reminds me of the biggest feedback that people would give with AI image generation was like, this looks amazing, but they have like a third hand there. Can I remove that hand? And then you reprompt it, and then the entire picture changes. Yep. So they invented things like in painting and out painting to try and keep some of the assets similar. It feels a little bit like that, but using the existing tools that we already have for coding, like that's in Figma or Webflow or wherever else. So that's awesome. That's great.
It's like we're filling in all the gaps, like all these like little things that we wish we had. Like we did all the really hard stuff already, and now people are just filling in the little gaps to get to perfection. Okay, so just going down the Lovable V0 train, we have a couple fairly awesome large pieces of news. The first off is Lovable has reached 100 million in ARR. Congratulations, Lovable. Pretty big deal.
The fastest to do it.
Pretty big deal.
It. So
and are they the fastest?
The fastest. That's what they're saying.
The fastest of this like type of
product?
Of
any
or just
company.
Oh, wow.
Of any company to hit the 100 million club. So they had a little graph. I don't know if it's in this TechCrunch article, but they had a little graph showing
see it.
Them versus everyone else. I think the previous one to accelerate, so you've got the older companies like Twilio, even like the newer generation like Deal that really like flew really, really fast to 100 million. The latest of that was Cursor. Cursor did it maybe in like 10 months or something. Lovable are claiming they did it in 8 months. So I still don't really know many people that use Lovable. So
I mean, this
awesome.
guy looks, God, they just look so happy.
Excited.
They look so happy. They look like they hit 100 mil. Good for them. Good for
Congrats,
them.
Lovable.
All right, and moving on to one of their competitors, some negative news. Replit.
Uh-oh.
What happened? They deleted a whole production database. This is
wild. When I saw it happening on the timeline before. So Jason Lemkin is well known as a investor and founder of a company called SaaStr. They run software as a service events, and he runs an annual conference called SaaStr. And he's taken it on himself to do some vibe coding. So he's like live tweeting his vibe coding journey, and he's using Replit to do it. So he picked a platform. He's building some product every day. He kind of messages what's working well, what's not working well. Super interesting. I recommend to follow it if you haven't done something similar yourself. He got to like day 11, I think, was on Friday, and he prompted it to do something. And Replit has some like reversion in there and some history in there, so you can kind of like theoretically go back. And what happened was that he noticed that his database got deleted, got completely wiped, and he prompted I think he had like a code freeze feature that he had turned on, and so so he asked the agents, like, hey, you deleted my data, like what happened? And the agent was like, no, I didn't. But you can see in the logs that what the agent did. So the agent was denying doing it, and then there was no way to like get this data back, and it was production data. It's not like it was working in a staging environment. So he posted this on Friday, and then the CEO of Replit obviously came out. This is a kind of like a famous person doing it, so I'm not sure if just any old person was tweeting, they might have got as quite as a heavy prompt as they did. But yeah, they came out, they mentioned what was happening, they really like leveled up the customer support here. They said what they were going to do to fix it. They worked around the clock over the weekend, it seems. They launched a couple new products. So this is like a real great example of learning from what your customer feedback is. And now they have a staging environment product. So not everything goes to, well, I think first they fixed the agents can't delete databases, but then I think the product that they wanted to actually build out here was a staging environment instead of just straight vibe coding to dev, which I think makes sense. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, this is inevitable. I think when you think about like a rollback or something that you need to revert, databases are a lot different than code. Code, there's a constant version control, and so you can always roll code back. You can always delete some code. Data, the actual database layer is completely different. So if you don't have the right mechanisms in place, you can easily delete a database. And what these vibe coding platforms are doing is they're doing two things. They're doing way more than two things, but two major things. One is they're writing code and committing that code to the files. The second is they're creating commands to run to the system. And creating those commands is way scarier than writing code, because a command can do a lot of things. If you're not an engineer, the big black terminal on your laptop, you can put commands into it. Sometimes if you go through tutorials, it's like open the terminal and like run this command. You're basically giving direct access to either your computer or like your whole app or database. And so if you write the wrong command, you're saying delete my app, delete my database, and that's what they're doing. And so again, if you don't have the right mechanisms in place, that goes away. I think also one of the things that they're implementing is ensuring that every single database that's being used on Replit always has what's basically the same as version control, where it does take a snapshot like every 5 seconds or whatever. And so you can always roll back if something were to go catastrophically wrong. If you completely delete the database, I mean, maybe it's gone forever, who knows, but sounds like they're putting some good things in place. But when you have a machine doing all this stuff, it's destined to happen, and it's going to lie about doing it.
It's too good. It's like, oh no, I've done something bad. Let me lie about it. That's the way to get out of this.
It learns from humans.
It's learned from the internet. That's the way we face our problems. It knows humanity, so that's great.
It just knows. I mean, this is the first, I think, negative story we've covered on vibe coding so far. So again, I'm always very optimistic about you. So are you, Will. We're both very AI optimistic, and I think there's gonna be big problems that come up, but I think the net benefit is gonna just completely outweigh them. But let's keep our eyes open and try to avoid some of these, but they're gonna happen.
And it's important that the platforms learn from it. So I think that's exactly what Replit came out and said and did, and it seems like they're going to be safer and securer because of it. I think the other thing that we've seen kind of happen early on here is that people just put out their exposed API keys for the ChatGPT and OpenAI models, and so anyone can just take those keys from GitHub and use them. And I think that's
abuse
these
them.
Are the kind of safety concerns.
Yeah.
We're still in the very early days, so just make sure if you are vibe coding, you are trying to be as safe and secure about it. Maybe don't put things out in public repos if you don't know exactly what's in there. But I'm sure all of these products are going to come together to work. And I think it's not all sort of Replit's piece as well. I thought here, what's interesting is like, to what degree do the database companies, right? So they're only using, I don't know what they use on the back end, but maybe it's Supabase, maybe it's Postgres directly, whatever they're choosing to do. I think there's probably some work that those kind of companies can also do to make sure that they can work in secure environments with the agents as well. And so everyone down the entire stack are kind of working to solve for these same things, which is exciting to see. In 6 months' time, this will be totally different again.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. All right, last topic. This one is weird and completely out of left field, but I'm going to share it anyway. Amazon acquires Bee. So I was like, what the hell is Bee? Okay, so it's basically like a Fitbit on your wrist, and it's just recording everything around you. Do you have one? Do you have a Bee, Will? Are you holding a Bee?
No, but maybe my Whoop does. How do we know it's not
possible.
listening in?
You don't know. Actually, I'm probably in a room of things that are listening to me, so who cares? It is a little creepy, the concept of this, although I will say I did purchase one of the original like ambient audio recording things. I forget what it's called, but it was from Kickstarter. So I like the idea, but with that, I was able to click a button and click it again. What's funny is now Granola has, which is like our an app that we all use to transcribe meeting notes. You can do the same thing on your phone. So you could just like have a quick button on the front of your phone. You're recording on Granola, and it could just the ambient audio. It'll record everything. It doesn't actually record the audio; just transcribes it into text, which I'm assuming this is what Bee is doing as well. But anyway, the long story short, it's very clear that Amazon is interested in this space. They have the entire Alexa, product line, and so they're listening all over the place. They're in my bedroom, they're in my bathroom, they're in my kitchen. I can't avoid them. And so now if I had a Bee, they'd be on my wrist as well. Will, would you wear this Bee, and would it creep you out?
Maybe. I think whenever you're like the first mover in like a new place, like obviously security and things are concerns. I remember the days of having like the first cameras on laptops, and everyone would like cover them, right? They'd put like little stickers over the top of their camera because they don't know like who is NSA. Yeah, exactly. You still have one.
I'm in our upstairs office. This is just like on the desk. I don't know whose it is.
The office does look like you're in like Severance, and that makes sense if you have things like that as well.
Yeah.
So like, but now we're used to having, the phones and the laptops having cameras on them, and I think we're getting to a place where everyone's quickly assuming that they're kind of being recorded on video calls anyway, with audio at least, and there's so many note takers. We've covered them on the show plenty. Taking that like IRL is weird. We talked about the Meta glasses. Like, do you need to give people permission? Do you need like a big light on it to show that you're recording? I think at some point in the future, it's just expected that everything's being kind of recorded. It's just kind of weird when you're the first mover of it. So I think it speaks a lot that Amazon's taking this up. It was kind of niche. To your point, you bought one off Kickstarter. There's a couple of these that have come out before, like the Humane one.
The Humane pin, the little pin
guy.
That
didn't do super well. People love to dunk on them, but I think at some point it becomes part of the general way of how you communicate and talk with people.
Do you think
the
new product coming out from Johnny Ive and Sam Altman at OpenAI, do you think it's going to be kind of like this? Do you think it's going to be a little wearable?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little one of these. I think
That's right. That was your hypothesis. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an AirPod more than a wearable, because you can get like instant feedback from it. I guess from like something you wear on your wrist, you're not going to get any output from it. You're just like, it's just a sensor to like input. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think we're going to move to a world where just everything's recorded? And
yeah, recorded is an easy one. I think the answer to that is absolutely, because we're already kind of there. It's just not as in your face as a wearable. A wearable is very much in your face or on your face. Like security cameras are everywhere, right? You just expect those to be there. They're just kind of like on the wall. Alexas are everywhere. They are listening to you, whether or not they're like completely transcribing and like storing that information. I guess Jeff Bezos is the only one that knows the answer to that. But with this, I mean, I don't know, I just...
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
His tinfoil hat on.
I do. But I'm okay with it. And I know it's going to be, I think it's helpful. I don't think, I think our generation is going to be the generation that like when we are in our 50s and our 60s, we will be like the first people who like, we're going to be the first old people that are not going to be sitting there being like, they're recording us. We're going to be like, thank you, Alexa. Thank you, Bee. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be weird. wearing one, going into like, I don't know, a restaurant or a bar, and you sit down at the table with your friends or your coworkers, and you get everyone's like consent to record the like social interaction as opposed to like the Zoom meeting. It's kind of weird.
Like when the Zoom thing comes on, it goes like recording in progress. We're gonna have to like have
everyone has to like tap your wrist.
We're like having a drink, and we're like
consent.
Recording in progress. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's have a drink.
Yeah, it definitely is moving to kind of a more dystopian future. You can imagine drones flying around, recording everything, you know, in mass. I think out of China they had a drone the size of like a fly. So like, yeah, maybe this stuff's like kind of coming as well. I mean,
do they really? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
I have not yet seen it, but I always was thinking like, how could they, like if you're in the airport, how can you, like they could just fly over security, right? It's like this little like untraced thing, or like could just, I don't know, it's like so many problems
sci-fi.
with a tiny drone. Anyway, that's for another day. Okay, cool. Well, we thought we had a short like 5-10 minute show because we didn't have much to talk about. Here we are 20 minutes later. Will, it's been a pleasure. Happy vibe flow Friday, vibe flow.
You'll get it one day.
One day I'll get it. But anyway,
one day you'll get it.
Just
and to make sure, to make sure you hear Jordan get it successfully, you're gonna have to subscribe so you can make sure you're always first to hear Jordan say vibe flow.
Happy vibe flow. Thanks everyone.
Happy vibe flow.